Hello again, me, still Joseph. And yes, little Zoom lady is still talking to me. Still listening to John Renborn. You should pay attention. Because I am currently going through a work in progress, blasting my way through it another time. And because editing is always on my mind, I thought I'd talk a bit about editing and what it means to me. I find I tend to edit in stages or levels, I guess would be a better term. I do not copy edit, and I don't edit for continuity. I find self-editing for continuity difficult because I know what's supposed to be happening in the story. So even if it's not on the page, I fill in the blanks. No good. Susan, the lovely Susan, is a tremendous continuity editor. She will pick up things like somebody rode into town on a pinto horse, not a pinto bean, pinto horse, and left on a chestnut. Thank you, Susan. And not just with horses. I mean, she does that with just about everything, and it's wonderful. It's great. Because I'm just so full out writing, and I have developed I've gotten into a habit of writing in detail character backgrounds, which I never used to do, but I have since, probably the past 8 or 9 years. I write character backgrounds in detail, plot lines in detail, what happens in each plot, in each part of the story. Massive note files for each story. Then you have your copy editing type person who are gifts. I have to tell you, copy editors are the ones who tend to pick up the typos or tie-ops. That's their real name, is a tie-op, not a typo. They'll pick up grammar. They'll pick up punctuation. All the things that, as a writer, you don't really give a damn about. Well, at least I don't. Well, I do. I've learned a lot from our copy editor, who's been with us. She's going on 20 years. God love her. And if you want to know who she is, let me know, and I'll send information to you. So there's copy editing. Then there's story editing, which is what I tend to do, which is this doesn't go here, this doesn't work right, this changes the timeline. Story editing to me is when you're paying real attention to the through line of the story, and you realize that's unnecessary. It's necessary, but not here. That's one of the things I go through a lot. I'll have, as I explained in the last experiment, I will write a chapter totally out of sequence. And having written it, I'm going to write towards it or away from it. But then at some point I'll realize, no, that chapter really goes over here, or part of that chapter goes over here. I do that a lot. So you have all that. I have not met anyone who can do all those types of editing together. Sometimes copy editing is called line editing, I think. Speaking of that, one of the great things that I have learned to do when I'm editing, take a ruler, if you still have them. Take a ruler on a printout. It won't work on a screen as well. Take a ruler on a printout and actually look at what's look at the story line by line. That way you can't read forward non-consciously and pull stuff into what's here. You have to actually, okay, where's that? Okay, good. I find it to be an excellent tool. What about challenging edits? This to me is, for example, I have taught myself, and I continue to teach myself, to read my own stuff slowly. I do it intentionally to avoid skimming. I need to pay attention when I start skimming my own stuff. That's a sure sign something's not working. Pull it out of the story. The reader won't like it. They won't care. They'll skim. Not a good thing. And I've had readers comment and leave reviews indicating they have to pay attention to every word because they realize that in my work, every word has meaning. Thank you, because I do choose them very carefully. There's that content element when I'm editing. And sometimes I will find something that it's not very long. It's 2 or 3 sentences, maybe a short paragraph. And I begin to do this debate in my head. Oh, just leave it in. If you're editing on a computer, how difficult is it to delete stuff? For me, it's literally one key. I hit on my computer, on my word processing system. I hit F12 and the whole paragraph's gone. Nice. Hit F11, the whole sentence is gone. Nice. And I work to slow myself down enough so that instead of saying, well, I'll just leave it. No, don't just leave it. Bracket it off if you want. But don't just leave it. It either goes or you make it better or you make a note to yourself, I'm not sure. Hang on a second. I'll see if I can fill in the blank here. I'm going to pause this. New button for me. Okay, let me move this little face of me over here. Hello again, by the way. Let me give you an example. Where would I put plot line? So you can see here in red, there are elements to the story that I'm not sure if they belong. They may be well into the actual story. Hang on. There is the actual story. But it may be that, where's the plot line? I'm not sure. Down here, I wasn't sure. Did Geo drive her to New York City for an abortion once or twice or something like that? So these are notes to myself. This, by the way, is what I was talking about. Here is the plot line. It's a plot list. You can see it even says Fane's Eye plot line. I also date them, you notice, so that I can keep track of when something was printed out, when I was paying attention to it. Here's more example. This is going to be in the story or not. I'm not sure yet. Re-edit to what we do in the shadows. Okay, that had to be fixed. It's going to be fixed, and that's one of the things I do in an edit. While I'm in here, let me show you also. Here is the character map, if you will. Here are the notes. The notes are everything that comes to mind as I'm writing the story that I'm not putting in at the moment that it comes to mind. Okay. That noted, let's go back to the hard editing element. Let me find the chapter that I'm interested in working on. So here's a chapter that is causing me an issue. And the issue is Tom Knox is a player. I'm not sure. He's not a primary. Well, he's not the main character. He could be a primary character. However, Um, Here is an athletically thin, middle-aged woman with black flowing hip-length blonde hair sat across from him, blah, 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 blah. Here is my issue. The character is not named. The character is named a few chapters later when Tom investigates who the hell was this person, because this person is not forthcoming in this chapter regarding herself, her mission, whatever. And one of my strong beliefs is when you introduce a character, if the character is going to be a main player in the story, make sure the reader knows who they are. I debated this because I could just put in, you know, she stared at Tom for a moment and said, "My name is blah." Okay. I do not as yet know why I'm hesitant to reveal her name at this point. And I'm giving myself all sorts of excuses and reasons, none of which are valid. I think there is a valid reason. I think I haven't found it yet. That's one of the things I have to do when I edit. That's why it's a hard edit, because this is going to become one of those red lighted things, red lined, red highlighted things, where what am I supposed to do here? Do I reveal her identity? Even just saying that to you, beloved audience, no, it's not right. Why keep her identity hidden? Well, there is a logical reason for it in the story. Not sure if it's a logical reason to the reader. Anyway, I go through I can shut this off now. I'm going to stop sharing. Oh, before I do stop sharing, where is it? Look at all these that I've done. Oh, I'm such a good doobie. Look at all these more that I've yet to do. Oh my God, am I a doobie? Stop sharing. Hello again. So to me, it's once you get past that, maybe first edit, your first time you write something, it's a rough draft. It has to be a rough draft. Then you go through and you polish. Maybe you go through again and polish. I, at one point, used to polish 17, 18, 19 times, 19 versions of something. I've been teaching myself to be more careful as an author, to write more carefully, literally, as I'm in the act of writing, without that getting in the way of my creating. Because you have two sides of the brain working here. You have the, magical, mystical, creative, oh wow. And then you have the linear logical, that should be changed. Let's not go there. And I work to integrate the two of them so that I can be completely creative and run, if you will, a subroutine that needs to be fixed. Okay, fix it. Keep on going. I can fix things without losing the thread, the narrative thread, if you will. It's taken me a lot of effort. I'm not going to say I'm perfect at it. But what I will offer is I now, instead of having 17, 18, 19 drafts, I might get to 3 or 4. And that's really good because I can, after I get the rough draft out, which, by the way, I've had people in workshops tell me that they thought my rough draft was ready for publication. No, it's not. I work the first draft, the rough draft. I read it through to make sure I put everything in I want to go in. And then I'll read it through one more time with that real hard ass, guns over butter, blood for money. I'm going to make this thing work. That piece isn't working out. This piece needs to be massaged a bit more. Fix it. So that to me is the joy of editing. I'll say it's actually the power of editing because what was the phrase? We write on wine, we edit on caffeine. I really like my work to be as concise and complete as possible before I send it out. Don't always manage it, but that's my goal. That's done through editing, acquiring craft, applying craft, getting the two sides of the brain to work together, and polishing. That's editing. Maybe there's something you can use there. I hope so. I have to look. Bye-bye.